Welcome back, everyone. It is time now for Daybreak and 10 on Color 10. We are with you commercial-free all the way until the end of the newscast. Let's get our forecast first, though, by checking in with meteorologist TJ Springer. TJ, good morning.
Good morning, Joe. I'm going to use a couple of adjectives here. We're blustery for now, and another B word, bone chilling, I think, as we head through the next 24 hours. We're going to have the gusts near 40 to 50 miles per hour through the day today. They're already there in Joplin, 32 miles per hour, the current gust in Springfield. Eventually, these winds turn back around from the northwest. Then the bone chilling air takes over, and Arctic air really going to seep southward all across the upper Midwest. Wind advisories in play through 6 o'clock this evening, including Kansas City, the Springfield metro, St. Louis metropolitan area too. All these areas under the gun for extreme winds, possibly up to 50 miles per hour, maybe even some spots higher than that. Temperatures are mild ahead of this cold front. That's the whole reason we're dealing with the blustery conditions, and we're not going to really rise anymore from where we are today. There could be a couple degree rise for some of us, but I think really going to eventually fall later on this evening, and that cold air just spills across the region. And for our Christmas Eve, we are not going to make it out of the 20s, I'm thinking. We will see a lot of sunshine, decreasing cloud cover, even more on Christmas Day with highs into the lower 30s. But then look where we're headed by Saturday, our holiday weekend, back into the upper 50s. The big headlines, of course, the rain chances, the strong winds, and the tumbling temperatures. We'll talk more about that in the 7-day forecast here, guys, in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you, TJ. Of course, spending the holidays in the hospital can be difficult, and that's why one Northwest Arkansas hospital staff is getting creative to help patients through this time. Nigel McDonald is in the studio to explain with us how. Nigel, good morning.
Yeah, Joe, well, good morning. Being home for Christmas is not possible for some patients this year. Now, in the era of COVID-19, many patients now spend time with family members by video chat. Staff at Washington Regional Medical Center in Fayetteville, Arkansas, say it's especially important for families to connect during the holidays. So they have a handful of devices that patients can use. The staff is also spreading holiday cheer to the littlest patients at the hospital.
Actually, we're wrapped up like little Christmas gifts with bows, so it's very sweet. Really important this time of year and in this year that we spread a little cheer to our patients, and we try to be that support and provide that togetherness for them while they're here. They were able to have Santa come into the NICU and visit with those families and provide a gift for the families of the children who are in the NICU.
Well, Cowie said, too, the staff is working to make sure patients have a great Christmas, even if they have to spend it in the hospital.
Nigel McDonald reporting this morning. Old Route 66 Wellness is Springfield's only medical marijuana dispensary, but it has been out of stock for a few weeks now. Owner John Lopez says there are more than 10 cultivation sites in the state, but only about 3 have harvested marijuana. And the number of dispensaries keeps opening in Missouri, and the number of dispensaries opening keeps increasing, rather. And there are also a handful of manufacturers opening up, so there's less product to go around. He says getting a small amount every few days doesn't make opening their doors opening their doors makes much sense.
If we get a small amount in, we would sell out of it in less than a day most of the time, and so saying that we're open on Facebook and online and announcing all of that and not having enough supply for more than a day, people get more frustrated with that than just waiting.
Old Route 66 expects to open again around New Year's Eve. As we put crime into focus now for you this morning, a woman from Pleasant Hope is expected to accept a plea deal today in her embezzlement case. 42-year-old Lacey Compton is charged with stealing at least $25,000. A statement says Compton worked for a company that manages rental properties. The police allege that she took money meant to be paid to the management company and then deposited it into her own account over the course of a few years. The statement went on to say that Compton allegedly deposited over $67,000 meant for that same company. A Pulaski County man is expected to be sentenced in his case later today. Anthony Olden was originally charged with second-degree murder in the 2019 beating death of Sean Rains, but in September took a plea deal that lowered the charge to voluntary manslaughter. He admitted to headbutting, punching, and stomping Rains. 36-year-old Seth Hay will be arraigned in court today. He's charged for allegedly hitting a Greene County deputy with a car last week and faces 3 counts of first-degree assault, second-degree kidnapping, and resisting a lawful stop. According to a probable cause statement, he picked up a passenger to purchase meth. He says that during the chase, he ate all of it and then hit Greene County Lieutenant Steve Westbrook's car because he wanted to, quote, end it all and didn't want to go back to prison. In a follow-up to a crime story we've told you about in August, several charges have been dropped against the man originally connected to a shooting in the Club Rodeo parking lot. 27-year-old Dimitri Dudley was facing both assault and armed criminal action charges after an argument inside the club led to a fight outside. One person was shot, but they survived. In recent testimony, the victim said Dudley was not the shooter, and he was actually standing in a group behind the victim. A witness told a judge that the real shooter was across the parking lot. To our knowledge, the prosecutor's office has not charged anyone new in the crime. Dimitri Dudley is still facing an unlawful use of a weapons charge because a gun was found inside a car he was in. The driver, Montavious Warren, is still charged with resisting arrest. To some news from around the region, an Iberia, Missouri man is dead following a semi-truck accident in Miller County. 28-year-old Dakota Viesman was driving too fast when he attempted to go around a curve on Missouri 17. The semi skidded across the road and struck a rock bluff and overturned. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The report indicates he was not wearing a seatbelt. A massive fire gutted the Proud Veterans Resources and Recycling building in DeSoto, Missouri this week. Randy Rackley who has owned the place for the last 2 years. A passerby in the street yelled to him that a trailer was on fire on the property because of the materials inside the fire that were able to spread immediately. And right now, he's still just processing the loss.
I have no idea how to feel about it right now. I just don't know. I don't know. I try to keep lighthearted, but and my phone's going crazy because everybody's seeing it on TV and everything, and they're just calling me left and right.
No injuries or deaths have been reported in this. 17 agencies with nearly 100 personnel responded to the fire. How it started is still under investigation. In some news around the world, at least one person died and another was wounded following an explosion and fire at a pharmaceutical factory in Taiwan. A 30-year-old foreign migrant worker from the Philippines died after suffering third-degree burns to more than 80% of his body. An investigation has suggested that a leak of chemicals in nearby sewers caused the blaze to keep burning despite local firefighters' efforts, and that cause is still under investigation. In the United Kingdom, British police are facing angry truck drivers at the port of Dover just days after France imposed a partial border closure, leaving drivers stranded. France's partial blockade was designed to stop the spread of a new coronavirus variant that was recently detected in the UK. The mostly European drivers have grown increasingly angry, though, as it became clear they may not get home in time for Christmas with their families. Let's take a look now at what's coming up for you on CBS This Morning.
Coming up, as the COVID crisis continues, who's getting the vaccine next? Can the wealthy buy their way to the front of the line? Plus, a drive-through solution for a New Orleans tradition that's keeping its lights on. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
We usually take a look at what's trending right now. We have a big story out of Utah. The president did pardon about 13 people yesterday. Among them was Weldon Angelos in Utah. He was sentenced to 55 years in prison for selling marijuana. Now, as we know, marijuana has become increasingly legal recreationally, and then also medically speaking, especially even in Missouri and Arkansas.
Yes.
So the president did pardon him. He has been released from jail. He served quite a few years, though, as his charge was increased because he had a gun, although he didn't use it when he was selling that.
Wow, okay.
But he did receive that pardon. Now, our other trend right now, as I'm scrolling on through, it's Festivus, as we've brought up, guys, right? Okay?
So fun.
Credit to the Tampa Bay Times, the newspaper here. They asked readers for their gripes just about anything.
Oh,
and they
gosh.
published them. And I think it was great and very smart to do. And there was just plenty of good things here, just about how the fact that we found out UFOs are real and we're not doing anything about it, guys. Or there was, or Jerry Stiller passed away this year. R.I.P. to him.
Oh, gosh.
That's an airing of
I feel like I must have missed. Oh, that makes me sad. I know.
Unbelievable.
I got to air a few more out.
Yeah.
Joe.
Send them out on our social media to us,
There we
everyone,
go.
all right?
Love to see them.
Yeah.
Tracking a big cool down, Joe. Christmas Eve only in the 20s, but a little milder by the time we get into our holiday weekend.
All right, everyone. See you later.